What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down some very key levels to watch for and how the market's going to likely move, in my opinion. But just know that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, as far as the market's going, I just want to mention that the market dumped really hard yesterday. We did predict that this would happen. If you guys watched my Wednesday video, I predicted that on Thursday there's going to be some kind of pullback move for the markets. But I said, as long as SPY is not to lose 608, we should bounce. If we had lost 608, I would turn more bearish. So we dipped below 608, yes, but we made a recovery move and we ended up closing above that. So that's a very good sign for SPY. There's a good chance that we're going to try to make a full recovery and continue to rally as long as we don't lose that 608 area. So let's talk more about the charts in just a minute. We do have some data coming out for today. It is Friday, February 21st, 2025. At 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the S&P Global Composite Manufacturing and Services PMI report. This may cause some volatility, so get ready for that. PMI is going to give us very good insights on how these different sectors in the economy are looking. Then at 10 o'clock a.m., we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment data alongside some Fed speakers. So I would recommend looking for some volatility at 9:45 and 10 o'clock a.m. This data may cause some kind of big move. So get ready for that in the markets for the first 15 and 30 minutes. Besides that, there wasn't anything too crazy as the market was kind of flat. We did see a bit of a dip only for us to bounce back up. So overall, we're still doing relatively well. We're also going to be looking at some more of these earnings. We had Walmart's earnings. In a nutshell, what happened to them was their earnings are not too bad, but their guidance was a little bit underwhelming, especially because of anticipation of potential higher prices and other factors like that. So not the best for Walmart, unfortunately. Hopefully things improve for the longer term, but for the short term, like this source is describing the market as a Stallmart. Kind of funny, but anyways, about the markets, I want to say that we basically have about 850,000 calls expiring today, and we have over 2.85 million of these puts expiring. So in total, that's about a 3.36 puts to call ratio, which means there's 3.36 puts for every call that expired. If I was a market maker, I would. If I was manipulating stocks, I would try to push the market a bit higher to hurt these shorts. We'll see what their intentions are, but there's a good chance that the market will make a very big move as a result. So either we're going to see a lot of chop today, or we're just going to see a slowly uptrend, and that could actually hurt shorts a lot more. I also want to add something else. So for next week, this is what the earnings calendar looks like. Notice that on Wednesday, we have Nvidia's earnings. That's going to be very pivotal for the markets. Nvidia has a good chance to attempt an uptrend. If Nvidia does run approaching its earnings, there's going to be a very good chance that this could help the market to some extent. Nvidia is very resilient, and it's going to have a big effect on us. So we have trading today, then we have trading on Monday, on Tuesday, and then Wednesday's Nvidia's earnings, and this is going to be huge. So it's just a couple of days away in terms of trading days. So get ready for that. Anyways, one last thing about Tesla. We're seeing headlines saying that Tesla's recalling 380,000 vehicles in the US over a power steering assist issue. Yes, the media is screaming this. I'm seeing this all over the news. But when you actually look at the fine print, the company has released an over-the-air software update to fix this issue. This is not a conventional recall. This is just a software fix for Tesla. So, you need some context. So I just want to make that very clear. Anyways, let's talk about the charts for the next couple of minutes. What do I see at least for the market moving forward? Well, one thing that's very good about SPY is the fact that 608 did not fail us. We saw buyers defend 608, which is a very key level. And as long as we remain above 608, the chart is bullish, right? So 608 is kind of like the very important level. That's where it's like a make or break for the markets. If 608 were to fail us, there's going to be like a much larger dip to like the 605 or below if we got to close below it. But because we held it, there's a very good chance the market will attempt some kind of recovery move as buyers will once again return. So with that being said, if 608 fails us, I do anticipate 605 or below. If we break 612.5, we're looking for an attempt for new all-time highs closer to 615. In my personal opinion, there's a good chance the SPY does something like this where we dip a little bit, then we just start pushing that 612.5 area. Whether we might get a chop day today or we just rally, those are the two most likely possibilities. It seems less likely for us to dump unless we get a really bad piece of news. So just keep that in mind, but watch your levels just to be safe. So if 610 fails us, we're looking for 608, and if that fails us, we turn more bearish. As long as we're above 608, we favor upside. In this case, because we bounced nicely yesterday, there's a good chance that we continue to uptrend and we just try to make a full recovery move today and eventually try to break out to all-time highs. That's the most likely possibility. We try to push back to the all-time high or make new ones. That's most likely what SPY is going to do. Same thing with the QQQ. Notice that we dumped. We did not lose 535. We did end up touching like 533 only to make a nice bounce here. So what could happen is we dip a bit, then we start pushing to all-time highs to 541. Then eventually we try to break them. I think we look bullish on the QQQ, and I think the odds favor in even more like upside. So either we chop today or we see upside as the most likely possibilities. I do favor upside, especially because of the options chain and because of the fact that we held support very, very well. Had we lost or closed below 535, I'd be concerned, but we are looking more bullish. For the Russell 2000, okay, if we end up losing 225, we're looking for a dip lower towards like 223.8. If we end up breaking past 226.4, we're looking for an attempt for essentially 228. I'm favoring that this is going to try to break past 226.4 and then eventually try to make, get back up to these highs. It's a very good chance we attempt to do that. So watch that very closely. If we get a dip and a bounce, or if we just push from here, that's going to be the most likely possibility. For ES, I think we're making a full recovery move. Notice that we held our 50 EMA and we have an imbalance to fill. So I think that this easily gets back up to 6150 plus or above, back up towards all-time highs. As long as we don't lose 6123, then 6100, we are favoring upside. So we actually held 6100, which is good for yesterday. We are now favoring a move back up. For NQ, we're trying to balance, but notice we have this resistance right here. This is going to be a tough resistance. If we could break 21,250, there's going to be a good chance for 22,300 plus. Eventually, 22,500 is coming next. If we end up rejecting and losing our key support at 21,100, we could dip, but the 4 hours favoring upside for 22,300 plus or above. So just keep that in mind. Bitcoin's also looking bullish. Unless we end up losing 98,160, I think we're favoring 100,000 plus. It is still looking very resilient, very, very strong. Looking at Nvidia, I think this is very resilient as well. Notice that we touched 136 and we were trying to bounce. I think we could consolidate a little bit longer, but then with earnings coming up, there's a good chance I might try to see a little push. So long as it does not lose 135, this is favoring that it wants to get back to like 145 plus. It's also holding support very well so far, so I do see some consolidation before it tries to bounce, looking very, very strong. Tesla, I'm a little concerned about this. So we're range bound. 348 is where we like to bounce. 362 is where we like to reject. Might be a little dip move, might be a small dip coming because of this recall news, but then hopefully Tesla does not lose 348 to 350. As long as we hold that, we could be looking for a bounce and a full recovery move, a nice move just like this as you remain range bound. But be careful with this recall news that is all over mainstream media. Although it's not the truth, I'm still seeing that out there, and that could cause a small dip before it tries to bounce. Just keep that in mind. We're still in a range on Tesla. Apple looks bullish. As long as we don't lose 242, we're favoring a pushback up to 248. For a few more tickers, we have Coin. As long as we don't lose 266, we're looking for 272 to 275. Amazon's looking a little more bullish. It might be retesting this trend line around 245, and we'll see if we reject 225, and we'll see if you reject off that or not. There might be a small push to the trend line. We need to break through the trend line for us to turn back up. I'd like a retest and a bounce, but for now, we're going to be watching this downtrend to see if we can break the trend line or not. Meta, we need to get back above 700 and 708 to bounce. If 708 fails us, we could dump even more. So we have to see if we can reclaim that. Hopefully it does. It does try to get back up to 708. Microsoft is looking for potentially a nice target up here. We do have 420 as a nice resistance. If we could break and hold above 417, there's a good chance we hit that. And then Google is going to be looking for 189, so we'll see if that ends up being the case or not. With that being said, guys, I want to thank you all so much for listening. The VIX is looking a bit more bearish, especially as we have this gap to fill, and that's a good sign for the markets as we look more bullish. We'll see if we rally more, but for now, there's a good chance that we do attempt to do that looking at the current setups. As long as SPY does not lose 608, we are favoring upside, and for now, the buyers are defending. I thank you for listening. Have a good day. I'll be back in a couple of hours for another update, and peace out.